The Easter Story. Retold by Russell Punter and illustrated by John Jovan. Happy Easter, Button Lane! Today I'm going to tell you the Easter story. Jesus lived over 2,000 years ago. He went from place to place with his friends, teaching people about God's kingdom. Once they were on their way to Jerusalem for a festival called Passover. They stopped at a village. Jesus asked his friends to find him a donkey so he could ride through the city. Jesus rode into Jerusalem, followed by his friends. Cheering crowds lined the streets. Everyone was excited to see Jesus. It was a dusty, rough road. People put down their cloaks for the donkey to walk on. Others cut leaves from palm trees and laid them down. Jesus and his friends visited the temple to pray. When they returned the next morning, Jesus was angry. Traders were selling cows and other animals outside the temple. "This is a place for praying," said Jesus crossly. "It's not for making money." He knocked over the traders' stalls and drove them away. A crowd gathered. Jesus taught them about God's kingdom. Sick people came to hear him, and he made them well. Chief priests of the temple heard about Jesus. They decided to get rid of him. "People should not listen to him," said one angrily. "We'll arrest him," said another, "when there's no crowd around to protect him." Judas, one of Jesus' friends, heard about the priest's plan. "I'll tell you when Jesus is alone," he told them. "What will you give me in return?" 30 silver coins, they replied. That evening, Jesus and his friends were eating supper. "One of you is going to betray me," said Jesus. His friends were shocked. "It will be the man I give this bread to," Jesus added. He handed it to Judas. Judas ran off into the night. Jesus shared the rest of the food with his friends. "When you eat bread and drink wine, remember me," he said. Then Jesus went to visit a garden of olive trees nearby. "Soon you'll run away and leave me," Jesus told his friends. They were surprised. "We'd never do that," they said. Jesus entered the garden with Peter, James, and John. Jesus turned to Peter. "Before the cock crows at dawn, you'll pretend you don't know me," he said. Peter was puzzled. "I'd never do that." Jesus went to a quiet spot to pray alone. When he returned, his friends were fast asleep. At that moment, Judas appeared with a group of temple guards. Judas kissed Jesus on the cheek. "This is the man you want," he told the guards. Peter sprang to defend Jesus with his sword. "Put your sword down, Peter," said Jesus, healing the guard. Guards grabbed Jesus. His friends ran off in fear. Jesus was marched to the high priest's palace. Peter joined a crowd outside. "Weren't you Jesus' friend?" asked a girl. Peter didn't want to be arrested. "Oh no," he lied. Two more people asked the same question. Peter lied to them too. The cock crowed. Peter remembered what Jesus had said, and he cried. Inside the palace, Jesus stood before the high priest. "Are you the Son of God?" asked the priest. "I am," said Jesus. "No one is allowed to say that," said the priest. "The law says you must die." Only the Roman governor could order Jesus' death. The next morning, Jesus was taken to the governor, Pontius Pilate. There was a crowd outside the governor's home. The priests had lots of friends in the crowd. They told them to shout, "Kill Jesus!" Pilate looked down at the crowd. He knew Jesus had done nothing wrong, but he didn't want to upset the chief priests. "Very well," Pilate told the crowd. "You must take the blame for Jesus' death." The soldiers took Jesus and made fun of him. They dressed him in a purple robe and put a crown of thorns on his head. Dressed in his old clothes again, Jesus was led to a wooden cross. "You'll be put on this cross to die," said one soldier. "Carry it outside the city first," ordered another. The cross was very heavy. After a while, Jesus fell down exhausted. A man called Simon saw what had happened. The soldiers made Simon carry the cross for Jesus. Soon they were beyond the city. The soldiers hung Jesus on the cross. A crowd watched. "Forgive them, Father," prayed Jesus. "They don't know what they are doing." That afternoon, Jesus died. At that moment, the ground shook. "He really must have been the Son of God," said the soldier in charge. A man named Joseph took away Jesus' body. He wrapped it in a linen cloth. Joseph and some of Jesus' friends took the body to a garden. They laid the body gently inside the tomb. Then they rolled a huge stone in front of the tomb. By this time, it was late on Friday evening. 3 of Jesus' friends returned on Sunday. They were astonished. The stone had been moved and Jesus' body was gone. A man appeared, dressed in white. "Do not be afraid," he said. "Jesus is alive." The women ran to tell Jesus' friends what had happened. Later, one woman, Mary, came back by herself. Suddenly, Jesus appeared. "Tell my friends you've seen me, Mary," he said. After that, Jesus' friends saw him several times before he went to heaven. They told everyone about Jesus. Now they knew he would live forever. Hope you all enjoyed it. See you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.